What is up, office workers and builders? I am just a simple Newtype, and in this episode, we are returning to the manga Two Girls in Love with HG. Last time, we met Kanzaki and Arasa and Sora, a high school girl, become friends over building GUNPLA. They bond over Shin Asuka, and they also befriended a girl named Momoka, who is in the GUNPLA closet even though she is entering local competitions. Kanzaki decides her next build will be a modified Savior Gundam. This time, the girls meet a new builder who falls in love with IBO. Kanzaki builds the Gold Frame Amatsu Mina, and she learns that a Destiny GUNPLA is being made. So let's get into this. They head over to Kanzaki's house and help her clean up because she is a slob. She is embarrassed at setting a bad example for the youths. This scene goes into details about the Japanese trash system, which I skipped completely, but it is wild. You have to be a Camille-level autistic just to sort trash in Japan. They get to work. Momo tells them that if they had proper time and supplies, they would properly paint the pieces. But for this build, they are using markers on some parts. They are water-based, so they are easy to wipe off. But it's one of those pins that you gotta give it a good shake. They use a yellow marker for the inner exhaust, and the emblem? Logo? Chest V-fin. Does this thing have a name? They then move on to spray painting. Momo says to make sure to be mindful of the neighbors. Nah bro, screw them, they're smelling my fumes. They have some snacks while the paint dries. Kanzaki opens up about how she just wants to be on her own, and marriage isn't a priority in her life. Sora doesn't really understand adults either, nor does she care. They have come together for GUNPLA. They will build GUNPLA. It's all fun and games until you grow older and become distant. Huh, where did that come from? They finish Savior and appreciate the build. Momo says, well, Savior does get destroyed in the anime. She's saying your build is trash, Kanzaki. Meanwhile, a new girl is looking in a hobby shop. The girls are talking about freedom. I know women hate being called girls, but the creator Makoto Kudo is a woman who calls Kanzaki a girl throughout this manga. That one's on her. Kanzaki likes the sound effects. Sora wants to build a freedom and goes into details about the mobile suit's chesticles. I mean, it's a nice chest. I've seen better tits on a mobile suit before. I will not elaborate. While Kanzaki and Sora talk about dinner, a girl comes to the shop. She too has colored eyes. It is super subtle though compared to the other girls. Kanzaki knows her and says she once interviewed for an internship at her company. Her name is Tsubomi. We flash back to Kanzaki asking Tsubomi what her interests are. She says that she doesn't really have any. We cut back to the present where Tsubomi is caught being a liar. Sora's brother brings a friend to dinner who is a GUNPLA builder who was featured in magazines. Tsubomi decides to stalk the girls, but Sora notices and brings her into the group. She tries to play it off as wanting to ask Kanzaki about her career advice, but she outed herself. They're looking at a Barbie that Sora's brother's friend just built. Then Tsubomi runs away. They wonder why, but Momo says that the image of Kanzaki has been shattered now that she knows that she builds GUNPLA. She sees the mobile suit and it is love at first sight. Tsubomi heads home and Googles iron-blooded orphans and begins researching. Her friends say that it may not be for her, but she is determined to understand this intellectual property. Momoko says that Tsubomi has the eyes. She is consumed by IBO. The girl is taken aback by the fact that Barbie doesn't have a shield or a beam saber. It has a club. She watches as Mika bonks everyone on the head and changes her opinion on the mace. This thing is awesome. She works at a kombini and is sad at work. Her co-workers told her that she couldn't handle the series because of all the death. She was going to speak up, but then Momoka comes into the store. She wants to talk to Tsubomi after her shift. Momo takes her somewhere but doesn't tell her the destination. She wonders what she was going to say to her co-worker, but she doesn't say. They go to Takamiya's hobby shop and get a Barbatos. She says, check this out. She doesn't even need the manual. She completes the build fast and says, see this? This guy isn't afraid to push forward. Was Mika afraid? No, he kept pushing forward. Well, until he stopped pushing forward. But you get my point. Momo is telling her that if she knows this is something she wants, then she has to do it. She will even help. Momo has been inspired by Kanzaki and Sora. After work, Kanzaki sees a text from Momo saying that she is borrowing her friend. Kanzaki goes, wait, I was working, what did I miss? Momo and Tsubomi begin building. Tsubomi wants to listen to IBO music while they build. She's raising that flag. After the pieces are snapped into place, she tries her hand at panel lining and using markers, but she struggles to color within the lines. They use a Gundam marker remover, which is just a basic solvent. Are these pins worth the price? Feel like a Q-tip and some ISO would get the job done. She even dabs it on a Q-tip. Momo is playing it cool, but she is enjoying the praise that Tsubomi is giving her. Sora returns home, but doesn't bother the two girls during their build. Usually I hate this, but the translator decided to make this panel specifically Spanish, and it is hilarious. In the Japanese version, they are speaking English. Earlier, the girls bought eyeshadow. Momo says that she uses eyeshadow to weather the GUNPLA. While weathering, she thinks about how she cried and struggled to make it through IBO. She asks Momo what she thinks of the show, but she says that it is a secret. When they finish, they notice that the Takamiyas have fallen asleep. Tsubomi is smiling, looking at a picture of her Barbados. Her coworker is happy that she liked IBO and was afraid that it would be a bad first choice for her to dive into. This is her first Gundam? Kanzaki is thinking about her next build. Sora brings up Crossbone in the Astrayverse. I'm so desperate for more Crossbone that I will take this as a win. She decides on the Gold Frame Amatsu Mina. A lady of culture, I see. She isn't too familiar about the Astrayverse, probably because she hasn't seen our coverage, which we recently just caught up in. I need to make a compilation. Sora goes into detail, but Kanzaki says, wait a minute, I'm an adult, and she buys all the digital downloads for Astray. GI sure wish Kodokawa and Bandai would distribute an English release for anything, but they hate your money for some reason. Sora is jealous of the spending power of an adult. She rants and raves about the phase shift armor in the right arm from the Blitz Gundam. Kanzaki is confused. Remember, the Gold Frame lost its arm and stole the Blitz Gundam's arm. Of course, Lo has the Gold Frame's arm. Brother Takamiya gives Kanzaki a can of Mr. Color Gold spray paint, which looks exactly like the Mr. Hobby branding. He says that the markers are patchy and will only take you so far. She has to start painting the runners. The Gold Frame runners look more yellow than gold, so a gold coat really makes it stand out. The brother also says, I think the blue frame's pretty cool. You should really read Astray. Is this due to Space Case, or is he a stoner? What's his deal? Also, I don't think we ever learned his first name. Kanzaki is mad that there is a real grade of Amatsu Mina. But no, Destiny. She still is not ready for real grade anyways. Get out of here, real grades. The title of this series isn't Two Girls with RG. Momo gets news that they are releasing a Destiny, but decides not to tell Kanzaki. Kanzaki buys gold paint. Wait, the gold paint Sora's brother put in front of her was just for dramatic effect? He didn't even give her a can? I'm convinced the Takamiyas are just trying to push product. Momo says, what color are you gonna use? Kanzaki says, what do you mean? What color am I gonna use? We're using gold. Ha! You think there's just one color of gold? Momo is addicted to paints in various colors. She says Kanzaki is going down a path she once went down. There's no going back now. She's going to have a giant paint collection soon. Kanzaki decides to use a reddish gold. They talk about how the gold frame is very popular amongst women. Sora loves the strength and compassion that Mina exudes. Also, here's a picture of Mina in a dress. I became a different man after viewing this image. Momo transfers marker ink onto a brush. She says it is more delicate when painting to give it that titanium look. They take the gold frame outside to let the light reflect off of it. She is happy she did this because she is about to get really bogged down with work. The Heisei era is ending and making way for the Reiwa era. Kanzaki was born in the Showa era and is now realizing people see her era the same way they saw the Meiji era. In Western terms, millennial is sad that they are slowly becoming the boomer. She says out loud the lyrics of TM Revolution's Vestige. I'm more of a Wings of World fan over Vestige, and I will not tolerate this rewriting of history. Kanzaki is busy in her work, but runs into Sora. She's diving into work because she doesn't know what to build next. Sora tells her about the Destiny Gundam that came out. It even has the Wings of Light. Kanzaki decides to take the day off. She goes to get Destiny at Takamiya, but Sora's brother says they sold out. Luckily, he set one aside for her, but a little kid is in the store and really wants a Destiny. She decides to give it to the kid, so she had to go to another hobby shop who still had some in stock. She was originally worried that she was building something piloted by a bad guy, but she is tired of caring what others think of her. The V-fin is flat for safety purposes. Apparently too many people poke their eyes out, I guess, so Sora suggests to Kanzaki that she sharpens the V-fin. She is tired of what others think, so of course she is going to sharpen it. And that will do it for this episode. A good slice of life takes something mundane and then uses the mundane to inform deeper traits of your character. In this case, Kanzaki is using GUNPLA to overcome some insecurities she has been struggling with. Next time, the girls finish the Destiny build. They do a chibi GUNPLA build, and Kanzaki learns about enamel paints and how to prime a Gundam for painting. But that will do it for now, builders. Remember, if you use a heat gun on a V-fin, you could turn them into horns. Peace.